nice to finally all meet you.
Me
Absolutely, it's a
too.
pleasure.
I've
It's a
seen
very
your
big pleasure.
channel on YouTube.
Mr. Larry, thank you so much. It's a big honor and an opportunity to have you with us. It's amazing, really, really amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Mm. Let's
How did
start.
this all happen? How did you find out about me or want to interview me? Curious.
Yeah.
We're, you know, something. We're fans of
Yeah.
your work. Let's say that we've been fans for such a long time.
We
Yeah.
watch
Also,
all
yeah.
of your movies. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but through the Snyderverse lens, I'm sure, because I've seen the other people you've interviewed have been involved in Zack's universe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also we like
Part of it.
I was talking with them about Damsel last
Really?
not last year's 2024 by 5 days. I missed the last year's, and it's such a beautiful movie. I have a question about it later. It's your visual style is amazing. It's something incredible.
That's amazing you saw that movie. You know, I just found out a few months ago that it was the most watched movie of last year or the year before, I guess.
Oh.
But so many people I know have never even heard of it or seen it, which
How?
surprises me, especially if you know Millie Bobby Brown alone. Seems like that would interest a lot of people, but it's so funny. When I mention that movie, nobody knows what I'm talking about.
I think it's an Avatar effect. Every time a new Avatar movie comes out, nobody watches Avatar. The weeks before, nobody knows what Avatar is, and then it breaks 1 billion in 2 days. So,
Yeah.
So, Mr. Larry, I have the first question for you. And how did your love for the cinema begins?
Oh, that's easy. Stanley Kubrick, 2001. I'm a little older than you guys. I was actually there. I saw it in the cinema, and I saw it at the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood, which is the ultimate experience to see the ultimate trip. And I begged my father to drive, you know, an hour and a half up to Hollywood to see this movie, just because, you know, outer space. I was a young child, and it seemed so interesting. And I made my sister sit with me in the front row, and it's 70 millimeter Cinerama Dome, subwoofers, um, surround sound, I think. And it was just incredible. I was blown away. I was just transported to another world. And but I do remember afterwards my family driving back home saying that was the weirdest movie. That made no sense. That was a waste of 3 hours. And I said I loved it. And they said, "Did you understand it?" Didn't make any sense. And I said, "No, I do not understand any of it, but I still love it." And I
Ooh.
think that drives my work and my life to this day. You don't always have to understand everything to love something, to appreciate something. And then, of course, since then, Stanley Kubrick as a director, I've seen all his films and over, and I'm heavily influenced by him, as is Zach.
And
Yeah.
me
Okay.
too. I have watched 2001 in a 70 millimeter at Milan last year. So it's a big experience. Really changing lives. Yeah, changing life.
Was that Chris Nolan's remastered version? Was that actually on
No, no,
film?
no. No, it was a old copy, old 70
Oh,
millimeter copy of 2001, and yeah, big cinema is 30 meters. The screen 30 meters for 15. It's a
wow.
big one, amazing. Yeah,
Wow,
greatest
right.
experience, cinematic experience I have ever watched. So it's for me,
Hmm.
it was life changing, and I understand it. Yeah.
Yes,
But
and think of the year it was made in. At the time,
yeah,
science fiction of that time was
yeah,
silly spaceships and
yeah.
crazy theremin music and
Yeah.
people in suit. It was so far ahead of its time and still
Yeah.
is. It's amazing.
I want to ask you about general question about the direction of photography. You are one of the great. You literally changed the way to shot a movie because what you do with Zach, but with your filmography is amazing. Really, for me, I watch Watchmen is one of my favorite, and it's amazing. 300 is perfect. Literally, he studied in cinema school because the
Really?
visionary, the visionary of photography and the visual style is incredible. So I wanted to ask you, how do you prevent a strong visual style from becoming poorly decorative rather than serving the story and the characters?
Well, my philosophy is that the look should always be driven by the project, by the vision of the director first. So, oftentimes I talk to other DPs, or I guess a strategy oftentimes is, putting together a lookbook after you read a script. And I kind of don't like to do that because I'm not the boss. The director is the boss, right? So I want to hear what he has to say and what his ideas are with the production designer, because the production designer is hired before I am, right? And they put work into it already and had hours and hours of discussions before I'm even hired. So I don't want to come and say, this is what I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
or
exactly.
or here's my style. Not that I think I have one style, and I'm going to make your movie look like my style so it fits my uh, body of work. So if you look at my work, you'll see that a lot of them are very different. My latest movie was just called Death of Unicorn. It looks like nothing I've done,
Yeah.
and it serves the story. And I spent a lot of time developing that look with the director. Although you may not be blown away by the look or say it's innovative, but it fit the story. The cast was so strong, the story was so strong that I took a little bit of a back seat. That doesn't mean I didn't try, and there's no interesting shots or not interesting lighting, but you know what I mean? There's nothing crazy. There's no crane shots. We didn't have one crane shot. So we just try not to overwhelm the story, and that's like what you're talking about. I think the story and the director's vision comes first. In the case of 300, which you mentioned, obviously that was about the look, and Zack even said so. When I first read the script, I go, well, great, thanks for asking, but I'm just reading the script. I just see a lot of killing. I'm not sure if that's my kind of movie. And he said, no, this is all about the look. And when the director says that, then you're like, really? Okay, let's go crazy.
And you went crazy. Literally. Yeah, you went crazy. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned about how it's studied, because a lot of people don't really know how we got that look. And I don't know if you follow my Instagram, but a few months ago I was cleaning up my storage, and I found the document of the steps to make the look of 300 in the VFX pipeline with Photoshop and Quake and all these other programs, and it shows the steps, and I posted it, and I don't think I got in trouble. But it's funny that no one's really asked, because you can't do that just in the DI or in a computer,
Yeah.
or the lighting, or just because it's green screen, which was a very small part of it. But did any of you guys see the document I posted by any chance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's much more than that, but yeah, I mean, because I've seen parodies of the movie and whatnot, and it kind of does not really get the look, because it's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meet the Spartans. Yeah. Speaking of movies with such an incredible visual styles that made us all big fan of yours, 300 is perhaps the one that really helped us get into this visual style. But perhaps the biggest and most striking one is Watchmen. I think that's Watchmen is the one that even though it had smaller box office returns, in my opinion, had a bigger impact visually, both on the medium, but also on the genre of the superhero genre, like shows like The Boys, stuff like so many, even Marvel movies that have a very different visual style, somehow got inspiration in a few scenes, in a few things from Watchmen. And my question is, how did you manage to create such a unique aesthetic that captured so well both the style of the comic book, but also the noir style that somehow is not present in the comic and is more in the like 70s, 80s movies, in noir movies.
Good question. Thank you for bringing that up. About a lot of people say that Zack just copies comic book, or that Watchmen was just frame by frame from the comic book, or 300 was just copying images. And if you look, it's so not true. I mean, a comic book, the format that's drawn in, and then the filmic language, which is much boring in comparison, actually, because there's so much variety and so many possibilities with time and space and composition. That was a huge challenge because, well, 300 that we did before was the same kind of thing, adapted from a graphic novel, but again, you had to put your own look on it, right? In 300's case, we were on it to have that desaturated watercolor feel, which sounds easy on paper. Had to make people look at watercolor. But 300, I mean, Watchmen, we wanted the vibe of it, and that was always the question. Those, Zack, we want it to feel like it's in the 70s and 80s, but are we going to make it look like the films of that time? Are we doing a parody of it? Is it going to look like a TV? Is it going to look like the Brady Bunch? I don't know if you know the TV show. But I mean, that example, but you know what I mean? Like, how do you get that look? But still, it's the year we filmed it in. You still have to make it seem like it's, present day or contemporary film, right? You're not trying to fool anyone into think it's a recreation of something else. So there are things, for example, like use of a Technocrane or Steadicam, which are things. Well, they were around, but we had to take some artistic license in what tools we used and techniques, and even the use of CG, visual effects, without making it seem like the films are really made today. So before, when I talked about the director's vision and the production designer's vision, right? In this case, it was, Zack, who has a very strong vision, and the production designer named Alex McDowell, who's a genius, and it was amazing to work with him. I wanted to work with him for so long. Him and his team, amazing, the work they put into it, analyzing the colors of the comic, and his set designs that was reflecting the feel of the graphic novel. Yes, sometimes there are exact duplicates or references to it, but you couldn't not always do that, right? I mean, there's certain things in the comic book you just couldn't do with colors, and it'd just be crazy. But it's no secret, but Alex realized that there's very little primary colors in the graphic novel, but secondaries, if you know what that is. You have to Google, art history. But if you look at the colors,
the greens,
yeah. So the reasons for that, and we tried to go after that, but obviously they can make the sets look that way. But if it was just greens and purples and yellows, it would just look very silly. And also, the wardrobe had to lean into that too. But that doesn't mean the people can be these colors. If you have cars or planes or fields or trees, they have to still be the color that they would be, right? So it's kind of more of a subtle influence where you feel like you're looking at the comic book, but you're not really. So when people say you're copying the comic book, I take that as a compliment, because it's not really true.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Right. What else I was going to say? That's just the color palette, right? And the set design, but in the use of the camera moves, which of course comic books do not have camera moves. You probably figured that out. So that's another reason we're not exactly duplicating the comic book. How do we get away with it? And like I said, cinema is a little boring compared to comic strips, because if two people are talking, movie making says you're just going to do that shot. You have to just kind of that, that. Yeah, you can do a couple other things to make it more exciting, but comic books never do that. Can you imagine having 5 pages of a dialogue scene with this and then
Yeah.
the same shape? No one brings that up, but that's how do you make things exciting when you can, and when sometimes you have to stay still and just listen to the person talk, then that's what you have to do with cinema. So it is an interesting balance.
So let's take a step back in time. You met Zack Snyder, if I'm correct, during your time together at the Pasadena Art Center.
Mhm.
And we were really curious about your earlier projects together. And specifically, we wonder if you could talk about us about Death and Beauty, because we found just six frames. Massimiliano found them, and nothing else. And we were curious about, how everything began.
I might have a bad copy of it somewhere. I think I did. Back then it was very primitive, so I think I might have actually had a video camera and just filmed it off the wall or something.
If you want to
Super
share it, please do. We'd
Still
love to see
somewhere.
it.
Do I have permission? I'm seeing Zach tomorrow, actually, so I can ask him.
Say hi to him from my ass.
Oh, I will. So, let's see. Yes, Art Center Pasadena. I started there in 86. I think he did too, 1986, very long time ago. So 38, 39 years ago. There's a class called, what's it called? Basics of Film, I think. And you had to make Super 8 films. And it was just the very first class, right? So I think some people took it seriously, some people didn't take it so seriously. Zach took it very seriously. That's how I knew, like, this guy, what's with this guy? Because I mean, we'd done stuff before then and we were friends before then. It's a very small school. But for the people that don't know, it's World War One or Two. I always get them mixed up. With the Nazis.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think
Two.
it's World War II, but
War
only
II.
by the few frames the helmets reminded us. World War
There's
II
so many
soldier.
wars. I can't keep track of the wars that humanity goes through. Yes, so it takes place in the trenches during World War II with pouring rain and Nazis and various soldiers. So he decided he needed trenches, kind of like Sucker Punch. So in his backyard of the house he was renting or apartment, he got it's called a backhoe. It's like a bulldozer, miniature, a small one that you can dig. So he actually dug trenches in the backyard that he could actually that you hide into. And I remember he got in a lot of trouble from the landlord, but he did dig trenches, and then he rented soldier costumes. He had someone with a garden hose, make rain. And I got a very good Super 8 camera because my girlfriend at the time had this amazing Beaulieu Super 8 camera that had ingenue lenses and could do dissolve. It was crazy. I was very jealous. But we did that film, yeah, in his backyard. So it's the story of a soldier, and then he gets shot, and then spoiler alert, the Nazi soldier is actually a woman when he shoots her and takes her mask off. Makes no sense. But from the beginning, Zach loved like war and violence, and not in a bad way. Kind of violence. The beautiful kind of violence, death and beauty. And it's very emotional considering the music he put to it and the way we filmed it. We were just beginning filmmakers, but I decided to take the filter that you're supposed to use for the daylight film out, tungsten film, so that everything had this bluish tone. It's usually a mistake, but we leaned into it because there was no DI or telecine, and we only could do what we could do, and didn't know enough about filters or didn't know if a blue filter existed at that time. But it gave this weird blue kind of tint, and I kind of did handheld, and what else can I tell you about it? I'm just kind of remember about it. It was very emotional and very elaborate. It was like 6 or 7 minute film for the beginners Super 8 filmmaking class.
Yeah.
But a lot of people weren't putting a whole bunch of effort into it because when are we going to get to real film? When are we going to get to a video or 16 millimeter? This is like children's class, you know, and Zack just went over the top. And but I think that was a premonition of the type of filmmaker he would be later, and also forged our relationship and knowing how to work together. Yeah, I will tomorrow. I will ask him if, you know, if I do have a copy, or if I find a copy, can I give it to them to post? I don't know if there's any copyright things, or if we have to get permission from the actors. Who knows where they are? It's not for money, so I don't know. I'll find out. Promise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you working on Sucker Punch, and do you know what the real version of Zack would have been like?
The main thing is that, well, there was another cut that brought the musicals back in, because those were cut. You know, during the musical stage things, there was parts where each of the girls had a piece, and I think those were cut for time or the studio or something. Those were put back in. I can't remember which cut that was, but the ending was slightly different, and he wants to restore that, and he said that, you know, he was negotiating with the studios how we could make that happen. It exists, you know. I didn't see. I mean, I shot it, but I didn't see it cut into the final thing. But there's slightly different, and it's the same ending thematically, but it's just slightly different. Oh, I think Zack said this. It ends with a musical number.
Yeah.
You can imagine that. Very, very David Lynchian, actually, and that's probably why, you know, the studio had second thoughts. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't give you any more than that. But I know it exists, and he wants to somehow finish it.
Talking about
Release it.
restoring, releasing cuts, you know, stuff like that.
Release the Sucker Punch cut.
Yeah, was release the Snyder Punch. I think it's the hashtag
Yeah.
now.
The official hashtag.
The official hashtag, yeah.
The Snyder cut of Justice League was pretty. That's a milestone in filmmaking. That's never happened that I know of.
Never. No, never.
Well, the whole process up to that has never happened either, where a director didn't finish the film and then someone else completed it and completely changed it to something else. And then people protested, and then the studio finally said, "Okay, fine." I can't remember any of that ever happening before. It's pretty amazing, the power of not only his fans, but the studio responding to that. I mean, I don't know if that's pressure or because they also knew they could make a buck or whatever, but I mean, I was so proud and happy when that happened. So people could see what the original vision was. So it's not even a Snyder cut, was it? It's the original.
Yeah.
Before it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what word to use. Changed. Because as you know, they changed the color palette, the aspect ratio, the edit, some of the castings of the look, even changing the character, the CG characters. I don't know what the purpose of all that was, other than it just seemed like very disrespectful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's why I was happy for my friend that his vision could be seen.
So the work of DOP is a collaborative work. Cinema is a collaborative work. I have to ask you, you ever been in a strongly disagree with your directors, and why you have to be in disagree, and why you explain you have the reason? I have to do it. Or maybe not, or maybe not.
Very political question. There have been some projects I was on where I didn't see eye to eye with the director, but the thing is, the movie is made in prep, right? You spend almost as much time in preparation, pre-production, than you do actually shooting the movie.
Yeah.
You can't decide things. I mean, yes, sometimes that happens because of delays or problems or who knows, but in the best of all worlds, like every film I've done with Zack, everything is thought of ahead of time. Can't do everything. It's like impossible, but 90%. It's never like you show up and what are we doing today? I don't know. Where should we do it in this room? I don't know. What should it look like? Like it's all discussed. People don't realize it's like you have to. It's not performance art. You know, to show up. There's too much equipment, too much time and money on the line. You're spending $1 million a day, then you don't make it up as you go. It's all figured out, and it's a lot of trouble and a lot of discussions. But Zack, who's always available and for any questions at all times, sometimes it works with directors who kind of don't want to talk about the film much. Want to talk about the film? You're busy? You have meeting with the actors or what? Can we wait? No, new pages are coming out. So what's the point of meeting? What? So I've been very underprepared. And yes, I can show up and do that. The boards that some storyboard artist or team of storyboard artists on these big movies do, that pay a lot of money and they do entire storyboards. People that have never met with me, have never been to the sets, might have never been to the country you're shooting. And then I can show up and shoot those boards and make it look good and make it work, because that's what you do when it's what you do. It's also like doing TV commercials. I do a lot of those, and here's the thing, make it look like that. Sure. Then I'll light it, I'll make it look pretty. Everyone will be happy. But you're not creating something original and with a vision, right? You just kind of hired a hand in that sense. So if the director doesn't want to discuss things in pre-production and you kind of do leave them to the day, then maybe some things aren't talked about. And then I'm assuming I want to do this, and he's either assuming or never thought about what we're going to do that day. And then there might be a little conflict. Or you want to do it that way, that's going to take twice as long, or that doesn't make sense. The vibe of it was something, you said something different, but yet the time is ticking and the sun's going down. So can you imagine the pressure? And I, like to make things easy. I don't like to cause trouble. I don't like to have drama on set. But sometimes, yes, it's frustrating. But in the end, the director's the boss.
Okay.
So I'll do the best I can in that situation. And, I won't hold it against that person or hold a grudge, or I won't hijack things.
Yeah.
Which I could. People have been known to. But I just make the best of that in that situation. I'm there and I'm being paid to do a job and complete the film. And so I'll do the best I can do in that situation, even though it's not ideal.
Even if it's not the best for the movie, because I think there is something that you want to do for the movie. This is right, because a certain choice is for the movie. It's not for me personal, but it's for
Right.
the safe of the movie, for the good of the movie.
Yes, I'll always come from that place. It won't be a thing from ego.
Yeah.
It'll be for the good of the movie, yes. But sometimes you try to protect the director, but sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes I have.
Yeah.
So that's why I say in the end, it's the director. He's the boss, and so you have to do that. I have known certain crew people to disagree with the director and say it's, either do it this way or I'm out of here, and then they're out of there.
Yeah.
Well, if I can, I had another question in mind at first, but since we dwelled a bit into Instagram and cats being released or wanting to be released, or universes wanted to be restored, fans have seen in the last few, say, 3 to 4 months, a big resurgence online by many people, by cast members, by Zack, and also by you, regarding the Snyderverse era of DC, like with all the Batman versus Superman stuff, that amazing post you made with behind the scenes, and the scene of the people asking for Superman's help during the flood. That was such an amazing. knowing that that was done so much practically, it's incredible. And we're fans, and we all, would love, especially in these turbulent times with Netflix or Paramount or, whoever is going to buy Warner Bros. What is it that, you think that makes you all sometimes come back to that period of time? Because we love it, and please keep doing it, because it's so dear to, so close for many fans, and it's always nice. Also because we all wish there could be some continuation, and we all wish that there could be also a return to the nightmare. I have another question for you about that, with your visual style. But what do you think about it?
I don't know or understand or pretend to understand all the things that are happening with studios recently or ever. But all I can speak is for myself. I saw Zack posting some things that I had, to do with, obviously Batman versus Superman, other things, and then I used to be very active on Twitter, and then I was less so for various reasons. But when I saw Zack posting, and he finally joined Instagram, and I saw all the stuff he's doing. But to me, he was posting a lot of his old photos, nostalgically, and I felt nostalgia, so I felt encouraged to post some. I went back into my files and found some cool things. I thought it'd be interesting. But I thought it was kind of funny that people thought we're all gathering forces to release this news or something. But maybe there is, but I don't know. I haven't talked to Zack. Honestly, I'm not hiding anything. But I remember it was Day of the Dead, and I was sitting there, and I go, "Oh, it's the Day of the Dead." I don't know if you celebrate that where you are or not, or know about it.
Some kind of, yeah.
It's on the calendar. And I thought, oh shoot, that the Day of the Dead, that scene that shot in Batman versus Superman is amazing. See if I can find that shot. And then I posted it, because it was the Day of the Dead. And then it's funny because it seemed like the internet thought that I was hinting at something. Because I was posting things, and I don't know. But I'm just saying that's from my point of view. And I continue to post things because I got good response and people were excited about it. And I thought, open the conversation, because I have a lot of behind the scenes from Batman vs Superman. And it means a lot to me because that film, I spent almost a year of my life and put blood, sweat, and tears, and me and the crew put so much into that. So kind of when it got not the best reviews, it really hurt, and it was sad to me that people
shame.
still say, yeah, oh yeah, Batman vs Superman, hee haha. But I watch it every so often. I think it's a pretty good film. And
it's amazing. It's simply incredible. It's so weird to. It's the problem with art that one people looks at it in a way, and some other people don't know how they watch it. But it's such an amazing film with such a beautiful language, visual language that informs the story. It's so weird to see people that don't see that. It's so weird.
Yeah, thank you. But it's always good to work on a film that's divisive, right? Because you don't just want a thing that just necessarily everybody loves. So it's okay for me. I mean, I can go to bed knowing that everything I did, and I did the best I could do, and tried to do some innovative things. Yeah, so I can't really comment on what's going to happen with the DC and all that. And by the way, that was before me when by the time Zack did Army of the Dead and Rebel Moon and Justice League, I wasn't working with him anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, we have a few questions about some other of your movies. That.
Okay. We'll talk about that later. It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Obviously, we're still friends. I'm seeing
Okay.
them tomorrow. It's not like there's any breakup or
Okay.
fight.
Good. Very good.
Wait, but since we're talking about school, can I just say something now that not a lot of people know?
Yeah.
Some of the projects he shot in school, he shot himself because he's a good photographer and he knows he has an eye. He's not just a writer, just a director. When he graduated from school, he started doing music videos and commercials right away, as did I and some of our classmates. But a lot of that he shot himself, a lot of those music videos and commercials. So it's not like some directors I won't name who just hold the camera and then now they call themselves director DOPs, right? And in commercials, it's a whole different thing. But he does know he's always had a good eye. You know, it wasn't when I shot for him. If he saw something, he would say, "Hey, can that light come more this way or more silhouette or soft?" You know, he has an opinion. You know, in the same way Fincher knows his. It kind of doesn't matter what DOP he uses. It's the same thing with Zack. You know, he used many DOPs when he was doing commercials because I was also very busy and I was not always available. But he knows what he wants and he knows what the image looks like and he will get it. So my point is that when he decided with Army of the Dead to shoot himself, I think number one, it's something he had to do after this whole debacle / betrayal that happened, you know, with him. I think for his soul, and this is just me saying it, I never really discussed it with him, that Army of the Dead, he could immerse himself in it and be like the old days again, you know, be simpler, and feel like he's in the process, not kind of waiting while someone else is lighting and, you know, just be more involved. So the reason why he, you know, he had to use someone like me or someone else is because on a movie, it's so involved. There's so much planning and boring logistical things with hiring and crew and equipment and testing that the studio would never let a director do that, with a few exceptions. And if I was a director, I wouldn't want to do it. That's just a lot of responsibility. It's two jobs. That's the reason there are two jobs. But he was able to do it, and he did it very well on Army of the Dead. So he decided to go one step further, which I'm sure was much harder for him on Rebel Moon. But you know, but he pulled it off. And also with this new film, Last Photograph, is even more minimal. So even more so, more than Army of the Dead. It was a very tiny crew, as you know. And he always wanted to do that with that film, with that project. So it's a very small personal film, I think, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So just some background on Zack being his own DOP.
Thank you so much.
So your last collaboration with Zack by the book is 10 years ago, Batman v Superman. I checked. Do you plan to work with him again in the near future on any particular projects? Brawler, the 300 prequel, something we don't know?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I'm not too many secrets. I mean,
Maybe you know tomorrow.
No, it's just because we haven't seen each other for a while, and we just have lunch, and I want to see his pottery studio.
Amazing.
Not that I know of. I mean, he hasn't called me, and I don't really expect him to, because I think what he's doing is working. But if it happens, I'd be glad to. But you know, I'm staying busy, and in some ways, it was. I don't want to say it's good, but it was good in some ways because I was very spoiled the first 2 or 3 studio films I did with Zack, and he was such an example of how to do things correctly as far as professionalism and preparation and respect to all crew people and all people involved, and his work ethic was because you hear these stories about this terrible director monsters, right? And even before now, where thank God things you can't get away with these days, as far as just who you are and how you treat people. He treats people with the utmost respect. And because of that, when I started working with other directors, I brought that with me because he's such a role model, not as a filmmaker, but also as a human, where I feel proud that when sometimes I do a film and crew people come up and say, you know, I've never done a film like this, and thank you for, I want to come to work in the morning. I haven't felt, someone told me that I haven't felt this way in 10 years, where I'm excited to come to work. And that's part of the influence Zack has had on me as a filmmaker and as a crew person and as a human.
And do you have any other project in the works?
I did a film last summer, wait, it's the new year. So 2 summers ago, which is completed, but they haven't released it yet for some reason. I think it's called Mike and Nick and
Yeah.
Nick Alice.
This year, I think a couple of months. This year come out.
Yes, this year.
Movie. Yeah.
Yes, first give me the end of the year, then they said the beginning of this year, and then now I just heard it's the end of this year, which is killing me because I'm so excited about it. It's very violent, but it's amazing because it's a dark comedy. It's an action comedy in the spirit of the films from the 80s. Action comedy with Vince Vaughn, James Marsden, Asa Gonzalez, and amazing cameos by a lot of other cool actors. And how much can I give away? I think it's you can search on the internet. It's a mobster action comedy, with also time travel.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's amazing. Okay.
Okay.
It's amazing. I have to say, it is so cool. Because I did the color grading for it last spring, and the music, the act, it's so much fun. It was the first time studio project by this director, Ben David Grabinski, who is a very accomplished writer. And if you look at his resume, there's probably things in there you'll recognize. But we just had a blast. And I don't know if I can wait until the end of this year for it to come out.
Do you think that visual style like yours is have to have been immediately recognizable, or is more ideal to be invisible to the audience? Is a good thing to be recognized by your visual style, or you think that maybe is not change every movie?
Good questions, guys.
Thanks.
People say they know my style right away, and I don't always believe that because I adapt to the project, like we said before. I know some cinematographers that I adore and worship that you can tell right away when it's them. And I'm not sure if I want to be that person. It's not wrong, but I enjoy being a chameleon. I enjoy doing difference. I like to adapt because I come from commercials. I've learned that I can do almost any look. I just have to decide which one per movie or per sequence within the movie. So yeah, I like, it's kind of, you have a job and you have a job to do, and the job is, as I said before, it's the director's vision. So almost every director gives you reference, whether it's a director or a specific film or a scene in a film, that during prep he'll show you and say, I'm influenced by this, or I love this. And I can do that. I'm flexible. I can make something look soft and beautiful. I can make something look harsh and raw. And discovering what's right for each scene or for each film is part of the joy for me. And so I put that over my style. I might have a certain way of doing things, either with the tools or with the strategy or the approach. Always, by the way, keeping in mind efficiency too, because there's certain things I can do. I know if I had all the time in the world, but we do not have all the time in the world. And so you have to simplify or have a strategy of how you're going to get that, and without wasting time. So that kind of tempers your ideas as well. So yeah, in answer to your question, I don't try to throw myself onto it. I ask, what do you need from me? And I'll try to give it to you.
And some DOP that you say that you worship, that have for you the recognizable visual style, for you, which one, for example, if you want to say, maybe?
I think you know.
Okay. We know. Yeah.
Yeah, Chivo, Roger Deakins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greg Fraser, of course.
I wanted to ask you something about another aspect of your of your talents, because you're a master, DOP, but also you have a talent for magic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you because it's something so I remember discovering it little by little by your cards in the movies, and and then with your cameo in Army of the Dead with the poster that
Yeah.
Zack added. Can you talk about your approach to magic, the story that's why do you love it? What made you become so passionate about it?
I think I learned about magic and was doing magic as a small child. So even before film or photography or art, I was doing magic tricks, not good magic tricks, the bad ones, like this kind of thing, right? That your uncle does. I was doing those
I
kind of things.
like
But
this.
yes, exactly.
Wow.
Oh, but do you know this one? You see this? You take the middle finger out. See, like this. See?
Oh.
Whoa.
But yeah, those silly tricks. But then as I got older, I would do more and more. And actually in school with film school, Zach and I would it was a leap because we found this magic book in a store, and we would do tricks. And also sometimes during making of commercials or whatever in downtime, we would collaborate on magic tricks and help each other. But then, the more and more you learn, if you think like a magician, you think about magic principles. And since magic is all about visuals and about doing things that are really hard or impossible, naturally that's going to overflow into what you do in your filmmaking, because you're doing it's all a magic trick filmmaking, right? It's not really people there in love destroying a vehicle. It's not, none of it's real, right? So how that affects, sometimes you can do things really cheaply and quickly if you do the simplest way, because you have a magic mind. You go, well, if you just do this thing, it'll look like. Here's a perfect example. There's that shot in 300, and it's in the trailer, this really low angle of a soldier breaking all these arrows off of his shield.
Yeah.
Slow motion, very low angle. We need that shot. It was the end of the day. And if we were to do this low angle, you would just look up into the lights, right? And they got the grips go, okay, we can build a giant, the VFX, I wanted a big green screen, just a green screen. But then you have to fill, that's going to take half an hour, right? So Zach or I, or both of us said, hey, why don't we just let's go up to the green screen that's on the side that's already there, and we'll just lean the guy back. We'll just put a board there and he'll lean back at 45 degrees. And now you're looking at the green screen. When you hit the things, they're still going to come on the lens, whatever. You can't tell if you're like this or you're like
Yeah,
this.
exactly. That's
Right?
amazing.
That's
Amazing.
so that
Yeah.
shot, I mean, that's not like thrilling revelation, but for example, that kind of thing, you can think outside the box. And you do that shot and it took like 5 minutes instead of 30, 45 minutes, things like that. Bad example, but that just came to mind.
That's amazing. I have that image in mind now of that specific scene with the spear that breaks the arrows. Thinking about the Spartan leaning down. It's so ingenious. The art of illusion, really. It's incredible. Really. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, there's another story. Just because we were talking about this, my friend talked about, everyone's watching Lost again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know, I shot the pilot.
Yeah,
for that.
exactly. Yeah.
But we were in the jungle, and JJ Abrams wanted this. Sorry for all the name dropping, that I worked to the biggest directors of time.
Yeah.
Not anymore. A long time ago.
One of the biggest series ever. One of the biggest series.
By the way, I introduced Zach and JJ when I was in film school, so they actually met before all of us were working in the film industry, just like at baseball game or something.
Wow.
Crazy, kind of crazy. I know. But he wanted this tracking shot of all the three guys running when it's raining and the monsters chasing them and the pilot. And we had no techno crane back then. We didn't have a cable cam. We didn't have a steady cam. Couldn't run through the forest with logs and mud and rain. So either JJ or I can't remember, thought, why don't we just get a really long lens and just wiggle the camera a lot and have everyone just kind of running in place.
No.
And so on the make, I just happened to, a friend mentioned it, and then I just happened to see something on Twitter showing a clip where the behind the scenes video guy, I said, will this work? I asked him, hey, can you film JJ just running there, and I'll go behind him, and then we'll just wiggle the camera a lot, and someone will wave branches in front of the lens, and do you think it'll work? And then that piece of footage is on this little behind the scenes thing, and JJ's in the front going like this, waving branches around. I'm behind him going like this. It looks really bad because he didn't do it long lens, right? It was like this. It's obvious that we're just standing in place, but we did use that in the pilot of running, because that's the only way we could do it, really. By the way, and the first, about Méliès and stuff, and the first filmmakers were magicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
Yeah, absolutely.
As part of the magic show, they'd show the films, and as part of the magic show, look at the crazy things. And everyone knows that story, but magic and film are movie magic, the term, that they're inextricably linked.
Thank you.
Do you want to see a trick?
If we can.
I mean, later, not now.
If we can, absolutely.
So when we interview Zack, we talk a lot about the theme of mythology and his passion for reinventing myths in contemporary language. So I wanted to ask you, how do you translate a myth into movie visuals and single frames? You recently explained the scene when Superman appears up in the sky in the Batman v Superman. The scene when
The flood, yeah.
Yeah, the flood.
Points at him. So can you give some example of how you can make myth with images?
Well, first of all, Zach has been very, very interested in myth. I remember back in school talking about Joseph Campbell and the power of myth, and things like that, which are so powerful. And before him, of course, George Lucas and all that. I think that the scene you're talking about, when again, a lot of film is just people talking like this.
Yeah.
But when you have a montage, like the beginning of Watchmen, or the montage with the talk show of them talking about Superman and should there be a Superman, and during the montage where it shows him rescuing the people in the flood, or rescuing the Day of the Dead. When you have a montage sequence like that, then you can expand, and now it's purely visual, right? No one or not many people are talking, and it's purely imagery. So then that's when you can have like that crazy shot, like the rescuing on the roof of the floods. Because it's a one shot, and it's 10, 20 seconds long, right? It's almost a 180, starting from the sky and coming towards a woman, wrapping around her, dropping down, and then going over her shoulder and seeing the silhouette of Superman against the sun. that's all out of Zach's head, right? It's gorgeous. I mean, he described, you want to do that shot. I'm like, hell yeah. And then you can go lyrical, and on those days it's so great because you can just concentrate 100% on the camera movement and the lighting and the composition, and that's when you can stretch and you feel like you're doing art. I guess the rescuing the child from the burning building, the same thing, right? It's a oneer, it comes towards us, drops it off, come around,
He goes,
and then we push into him looking back and looking sad. I mean, it tells all story, both of those shots, and without saying a word. And Zach's always been so good at that because, like when he does those little inserts, like starting back from Man of Steel, or all his films, little shots that people call. Who's the director that does a lot of that? Blanking out. But anyway, it's not like 2 or 3 directors do that. All directors do.
Yeah.
We all do that. Anyone can do that. But there's comparisons as if, someone owns the concept of an insert shot in slow motion. But yeah, it is fun when you can do shots that just nobody talking or a voiceover, very dramatic music, and a dramatic camera move with dramatic lighting. That's something you don't always get to do, and it's the most fun for sure.
What's the most challenging movie that you have made with Zach or in general?
They're all challenging in their own way. Batman vs Superman had so many locations in so many countries. Wait, no, it wasn't countries. We were almost going to go to Morocco, and we had to cancel that because of problems. And then we shot in the desert in the United States. But the logistics for that were a challenge, but always a good challenge because with Zach, there's no panic. There's you roll with the punches. For example, we did have a location in Morocco, and then they're starting to build locations out there, and I think there were floods and maybe disease and maybe even threats of terrorism. So everyone said, you're not going to Morocco. So that's a huge derailment in the middle of the movie. But then the production designer and location scouts went crazy, and they found this in the New Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico.
Yeah, I think
desert?
New Mexico it was. I
Mexico.
remember the leaked pics from a drone flying overhead.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was in the desert, but there was an abandoned copper mine, and then the government or somebody took it over and used it as a training field for I think anti-terrorism. So they made these weird buildings, and they would practice, whatever exercises they had to do. So they built the sets there. And because it used to be a community of a copper mine long ago, there's all these houses. They're abandoned now, but we all just lived in those houses that were still there. And we just, pivoted and made that New Mexico desert, African desert. What was the question again? Challenges, yes. But there's always challenges. Did you ever see Skull Island?
Yes.
That was, we shot in Hawaii, Vietnam, Australia, and Burbank. So imagine the logistics of that kind of thing.
Exactly.
It became so busy in prep that we're supposed to go visit Australia, and we're so busy doing things and shooting that we couldn't scout Australia. So great, we're going to do a country that we never scouted. So we just had to land and kind of make it happen, and it worked. The crews there are great, and there's great locations. But there's challenges. There's always challenge in filmmaking. It's never easy. But rewarding, not complaining.
Yeah.
If it was
Talking
easy,
about
everyone would do it. Sorry.
yeah, no. Exactly. Yeah. You talk like it easy job, but I don't think so. It's incredible. It's difficult. It's really you have to be some kind of genius to do what you do.
So focused. It's
Yeah, so
such a
focused. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
funny is when people criticize a movie, they don't realize how much work went into
Yeah.
it. And it doesn't mean you have to like every movie, although I'm weird because I kind of give every movie the benefit of the doubt and try to not hate on movies. Because just I can see how much work. I just watch a movie and I'm like, oh my God, how much trouble did this take? Which shouldn't have anything to do with it, I realize. But people are trying really hard just to make a day in filmmaking, even if everything's horrible. If it looks horrible, acting terrible, it's shot horrible, it still was a lot of trouble. It's just as hard to make a bad movie as a good movie.
Yeah.
Is the funny thing. So I realize that doesn't matter. And I realize that when someone's eating popcorn and seeing a movie and you want to make fun of the movie or shit on the movie on the internet later on Twitter, you have that right. Just like I have the right to make fun of that person's hamburger making skills, but they're at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a joke, my friend. Very disrespectful, but you get my point.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And to take him back to a couple of questions back about 300 and the people think that it's easy. It's all green screen, all studios, but it's not like this. Exactly, it's not like this. The thing I want to ask you is that movie, but I think about Sin City movie a couple of years back there, back 300, uh, was filmed partially or majorly shot in a stage with the green screen, but the green screen is a full creative control. Is almost caring because you can do everything. You have to planning everything. Maybe you have the actor in front of the camera, and the other rest he have to be millimeter precision, like even Avatar is maybe directed like this. So I want to ask you, is not that easy. Is maybe is even too complicated that shot in a location with a house with two person that chatting. Maybe is more difficult that kind of cinematography and that kind of direction. So what do you think?
Yes, you're absolutely right. The green screen means you can do anything behind it, but I'm responsible for what's in front of the green screen.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're doing the weatherman,
Exactly.
which is the exact same thing.
Exactly.
The weatherman going, the weather is going to be green screen. But so that's the technology means nothing.
Yeah.
They've had the technology putting two pieces together forever. With 300, especially since the lighting is so specific and dramatic, I have to be able to know what that background is going to look like later. That informs me what the people in the foreground have to look like. Right. So if I just light it flat and worry all about it later, then how do you do that later when it's a sunset back there, or it's a cloudy day, or it's pounding sun, or they're under a shade? You can't
Fix
just
it in post.
turn on lights, the same lights
Yeah.
for everything. As a matter of fact, I have to say that when we started a scene, I would ask from the VFX department, like, what kind of sky or look is going to be back there, even if it's temporary, just give me it. And I would take a photo of the rehearsals, and I would go on my laptop and in Photoshop put the background in to check my lighting and see if it makes sense. But don't forget, Zach, in prep, if I was there and maybe I forgot, I go like, is this, wait, okay, obviously I know it's night, but I'm saying if it's day, I go, this is, and the VFX supervisor is there too. I'm going, should the sun be coming from the right or from the left? And Zach would go, wait, okay, this is the Greek, the sun's coming up. Later we do the sunset there. The sun should be coming from the left. And this is hard sun, not overcast. I go, gotcha. And then that's why the integration later looks so good, because I know what kind of day it is, the weather, or even things where there's some shots where I can't recall specifically where they're in the city and they're under a overhang or something. Then I have to make it look like they're in shade, right?
Yeah.
Or things where we will fight in the shade where the arrows come and it gets darker. I have to start sunny and then make the light change so that it's now becoming, the light's changing during the shot, things like that. And the color of the sky, to make something look realistic when you're outside, the sun, the environment isn't one color. The sun is warm or white, and then in the shadows it's a cooler light, so the fill has to be bluer, right? And at the end of the day, the sun's even warmer and the blue is even bluer, things like that. Time of day, all the colors, ratios, and relationships change, and that's all. It's not by chance. It's discussed, and then we implement it. And I think that's
in this time. I think that movie like 300 are, if he shot it now, is impossible. For example, think about the volume. I think it's made for this, to change live the sun, the sunset. What do you think? You ever work on the volume? What do you think?
I've only worked on the volume in kind of smaller versions of it. Not creating entire sets like in The Mandalorian or only smaller things like driving or for special weird things, not whole set creation. That involves so much. Like in The Mandalorian, the DP had to work with the production designer months and months and months before they shot, because they had to design the sets and the lighting of the sets, because you can't change it on the day, right? It's in the computer.
Exactly.
So it has to be discussed.
Yeah.
Is that room back there, is it going to have sun coming through the windows towards us? Is it how bright is it out there, what time of day. All of that has to be figured out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which you don't necessarily have to do on green screen. You can discuss it, but you don't have to have the actual image there
Exactly.
like you do.
Yeah.
So it's very complicated and involved. And so the times, even when I did with driving, when they said they were going to have the plates or generate the plates, almost every time they didn't. And they go, we didn't have time to do it, so we're going to have to. You just have to guess, and then we'll find the plates or do the plates next time. Oh, I'm sorry, with only one exception did we actually shoot the plates, because they always run out of time. Let's go, when are we going to shoot the plates? So we'll do it a week before we film, and then we're filming, and then I can't get the crew to do that amount of time. Sorry.
Speaking of very difficult shoots and very extreme changes of lighting, one of the scenes I've seen spoken about, like it was such a difficult shoot, even though the final result is amazing, is the nightmare scene, the one shot with the camera, the crane. How did you? It's such the behind the scenes with the camera, the cut in the side of. How did you manage to capture that scene so perfectly in also such a difficult environment? Because I've seen interviews with Damon. I think it was that when they were shooting the scene, it was also very hot, and it was also very difficult to act in such a big costume, fighting so many people, keep maintaining also the timing and the choreography of all the fights. How did you manage to capture that scene so perfectly?
That was crazy. I'm not sure. Because I think a week before that is when Zack decided he wanted to do it as one shot.
Okay.
And I just remember everyone was
okay, how?
Because it's IMAX and we start in the thing and we have to come out of it and do a 360 and then end up on the ground looking up.
Yeah.
And then so I figured out that we could use the techno crane, and again, because of the magic thing, I go outside of the truck, we'll do it. I have to build a big platform and a track, and the crane will be on it, and then the techno crane will go over the truck on pipes. The camera will drop into it, and there's a slot on top, and then we put black cloth so the light didn't come in, and then it's on a remote head, right?
Yeah.
So the shot starts where they're struggling fighting, and then let the camera. Oh, the camera, by the way, because the truck was so narrow, it couldn't get back far enough to get the over the shoulder. So we actually had to cut a hole in it. So we actually had to pull back this way, so black cloth on it. So the shot comes like this. It goes like this, and it goes in, and then it chases him. He jumps out, right, and then it does a 360. But as you know, there's a lot of CG in it, obviously.
Yeah.
but for many reasons, one of the reasons was when you come back and look at the truck, you're going to see the truck with the holes in it and the giant platform next to it. You're going to see that. So the visual effects guy said, okay, we have to now take the techno crane off that thing, now put it on the other side, get rid of the platform, and then we have to shoot it again, and then we have to stitch these pieces together. Okay, that's if you can do that, that's your problem. I'll have my grips do all this other stuff, but that's all you. But also there's only so many people fighting. So I think I could be wrong with this, but I think there weren't enough people fighting. So we also had to do several passes of this 360 shot in order to put in all the people fighting.
Okay.
So many people, right? There's only so many stuntmen available.
Yeah.
Can't just call up and then, hey, can 100 stuntmen be out here? Because they have to practice the whole thing. And then also at the end of it, Zack wanted to go underground so we could see that looking up at Batman when he gets conked on the head, right? So we had to dig a hole so that the camera could drop into it.
So the camera could go. Wow.
Yeah, because think about the IMAX camera is like,
yeah,
it's huge.
At the bottom, it's like the top. You can't get under ground level, so you had to dig a hole, right? So and you can't see that hole when you start the move. So again, we had to paint that out and use a different part of the move. And You know, when all the creatures come and fly and all this crazy stuff. That was an afterthought, I believe. I don't think that was going to be there in the first concept. So that helps distract you from any discrepancies and the stitching and the addition of people and the composite.
Yeah,
But
as you're seeing the big IMAX scene with all the demons coming down.
yeah. But as the movie went on, Zack put more and more spoilers for Justice League and other things to come. And that was part of adding those creatures, because those are kind of a hint of things to come. But that was basically it. I thought, like, this is going to be crazy. I mean, logistically, I can pull it off. It's the VFX team is going to really have the work cut out for them. And I also thought during that whole sequence, please be a cloudy day. And then it was, because when you do that, it's easier to blend everything, right? If you have the sun, it's shooting and taking the sun's changing and the shadows and everything. So lucky that it was overcast day for that. And IMAX camera, not easy to work with. So yeah, I think that's everything.
That's thank you so much. Also, if I can add something, because I use a way of saying, I translated a way of saying from English in Italian that I use with my wife, and I just realized that it comes from your if you shoot the rehearsal, it's not a rehearsal. It's something. It's something that I just realized. I'm sorry, I wanted to. It's something I love.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the rehearsal cat? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So that, I made that up, right? That's my
it's your you made it. I think you took it from somewhere. You actually made it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I sold the stickers, gave them away, t-shirts and the stickers and the magnets.
Wow.
But now there's another company that takes care of that, thank God. But I have to say, like, remember when memes first started?
Yeah.
Or memes, I don't know what you call them there.
Yeah.
I thought, surely I can think of a meme. I'm clever and funny sometimes. So after months went by, I can't think of anything. It was too much pressure. So, but I have to come up with something and make a sticker. So temporarily, I heard that's a long. I didn't make up the phrase. If you shoot the rehearsal, it's not a rehearsal. But it's a great phrase, because they always say that in movies, right? Rehearsing, they go. Someone says, the director, the AD, let's just shoot the rehearsal, which makes no sense. So it's a linguistic paradox, right? You shoot the rehearsal, it is not a rehearsal. You're shooting it.
Exactly.
So I thought that was funny. And then the rehearsal, the cat, which is business cat, which from the beginning of memes exists. I didn't come up with that. I just put them together.
Yeah,
so I didn't think the phrase or the cat, but I did start making the sticker, because I thought, okay, this is a placeholder until I think of something clever. 20 years later, I still haven't thought of a meme. But they're everywhere. They're all over the world. If you go to hashtag rehearsal cat on Instagram, you'll see people post it from all over the world that I've given the stickers to, or gone in my travels, or they bought them from the website. There's a website called Boss and Boss, and they sell all kinds of funny stickers and patches to do with filmmaking, and they take care of that now for me, a friend of mine. So if anyone wants
exactly.
flag,
thank you. I know what I'll do next.
It might be expensive to ship to you, but also the image is online, so you can just grab it and make your own. So copywriting.
That's right, but it's so fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But people when that first came out and it got popular, people I saw on the internet were getting very angry, because I'd see someone mention that and think it's funny, and then pretty soon, because of the internet, people are fighting, arguing, and swearing and threatening death, saying that it's good to shoot the rehearsal. Sometimes things happen, but it's not the point. It's like a joke.
Yeah. It's such a
cat wearing a tie.
Exactly.
Linguistic. Funny. It's funny saying.
2018, you worked also on The Predator with Shane Black. Talking about Final Cut, cut that didn't make through, and all of that. In the internet, there was a lot of talk about the alternative ending of that movie, the idea of replay coming back. Did you know something about that?
Oh, okay. Well, there's two things. When we first shot it, it was the sunset and the sun was slowly going down. this is worth talking about because
Yeah.
that's the shot all directors want, you know, the sun or magic hour, which is impossible. So they built the whole thing on stage. And I realized that this is my chance to actually tie out the perfect sunset going into night because I had lights that would go up and down and had people, you know, adjusting the lights. Um, and it's the crazy thing. I can't believe they're telling me that I was spending too much money on lights, but yet they spent enough money to build two sets. Because you remember they're up on, if you saw it, they're up on the top and then they fall down below where there's water and the rest of the scene happens there. Well, you can't build a set on stage that's that high. So there's two sets. One was the top and one was the below. So they duplicated it on the next stage next door. They built the same set, the top half and the bottom half. They don't, well, how did they get approval on that? I thought for sure a studio would just say like, no, guess what? It's all happening at high noon. So somehow I did it. It was the most beautiful sequence because I could time it to the page and the paragraph where the people were lowering the lights and adjusting the colors. Again, like I said before, the sun gets lower and warmer, but then the blue gets brighter and overtakes it. So it seems from magic hour, golden hour, blue hour, night, and it was amazing. Then a year later, come the reshoots, and then we're doing pickup shots, blah blah blah, additional scenes, and I'm looking at it, and it takes me a couple of days to realize. I go like, is the sun coming up now? Because, and they go, yeah. I go, but we shot it with the sun going down. They go, yeah, but can't you just fix that in the DI? Like, give me the footage right now. We're going to the lab, and I have to spend a day with the guy to see if it's even possible. So, it was kind of possible, not great, but we had to change the sun going out, the sun coming up. So that's what happens when you have reshoots or they rewrite it or there's notes to change the end of a movie.
Okay.
Also, you're not about the ending, but this is relevant. The whole middle, there was a whole battle that took place on a vehicle on a mountain road that they completely threw out. It was like a 10-minute sequence gone. So there's a whole nother battle which takes place at night in the forest that if you saw it, which it was probably a month or two reshoot. It was a big reshoot. They changed it, but I did it. But then when that was done, they wanted an additional ending thing after the credits. Was it after the credits? We're glued on the ending when they are in a lab and then the suit comes back to whatever.
That was
they said they had these reshoots and they said, we don't think we need you for it. I go, well, I think I should do it if it's matching. They said, no, it's a tiny thing. It's just gonna be the kid and then his dad saying something. We have someone who's going to do it. I go, okay, well, call me and let me know how it goes. And, you know, if you want my input. And then I heard nothing. And then I saw the movie and I thought this is a whole entire sequence.
Yeah.
Later, now the kid is more grown up and right, he's helping slay predators and the predator comes back to life and all those crazy things. Pretty elaborate scene. And although I know the guy who shot it, our second unit guy, and, you know, it was fine. I would have done it a little differently. But that's not up to me, and I didn't write it, and there was notes, and it was a studio mandate to do that scene, so I'm not sure. So that was not part of the original movie, if that's what you're asking. Okay. And what did you think? What did you think of it?
Well, I liked it. It was interesting. Yeah. Well, it was really a displeasure not to see the Predator 2 and what would happen from there. It was, bittersweet. I liked it, but I would love to see the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was the rest of it. But I will say that Shane Black was great to work with. I was so happy to work with him. He's very witty and very clever, and loved hanging with him. But this, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but the studio took a lot of the best Shane Black style things out of the movie, which made it, I think, not quite as interesting. But I'm glad to know that he did, because he was very sad after that movie. But I'm glad that he did recently do another movie. But Jeff Cutter shot those at DOP, who I know, who looked like he did a tremendous job. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that the thing is still going.
Is there a director you would like to collaborate with?
There's several, but I don't want to say because then okay.
Yeah, right. Another famous director, great director, J.J. Abrams. What
Oh yeah,
what you can talk about your long collaboration, Super 8, the movies, and Lost, the pilot, and so on. A lot of stuff.
a lot of stuff. I was this is a very strange story. I don't want to go too in the weeds about it, but I met him when we were both in high school. We did not live near each other at all, but just through some strange circumstances that too long to explain, I did meet him, and we became friends because of our mutual love of movies, music, magic, special effects, makeup, um, things like that. We always stayed in touch. So I remember I went to UCLA, and I lived closer to him. We hung out a lot, and then I went to Art Center, as you know, still hung out and um, met Zach, and then he went to school on the East Coast and also in Paris. He came back and he was reading scripts and wanted to write. So we're friends during this whole time. Meanwhile, I'm a little older than him, so I'm starting to shoot commercials and whatnot. Then he starts getting into TV. I mean, he sold some scripts that did very well, and then he started doing TV, and he was successful in that world, which was very different from me. So we didn't work together, except maybe we did a TV commercial. And I was very busy doing commercials and trying to get my movie career going, which wasn't happening. And the commercials, one day it was so frustrating because, like I told you before, I was trying to help the project, help the commercial work, but they were saying, I believe the line was, "Can you just shut up and shoot the boards?" And I just thought, wow, maybe I've had enough of this. And I just remember going outside at lunch thinking, this is not fun anymore. And then that weekend, JJ called me and said, "Hey, Larry, I know you don't want to do TV, but I have the script for a pilot if you're interested." And I said, "Yes, I don't care. I don't need to read it." And then that was Lost.
Yeah, biggest pilot and biggest series I think ever of the last 30 years. But yeah,
That was like the golden age. And that was great
yeah,
because we
golden
worked with,
age.
again, with an old friend that I just never dreamed when we were teenagers that would happen. You know, we did films together at Super 8 in high school. We should see if those exist anywhere.
Yeah, it's
Um,
amazing.
but yeah, and after that happened, then Zach did remember his first movie, the zombie movie.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole story, but this is an old story where I think he wanted to use me in studios going, we don't know who that guy is. No way. And then meantime, I did 300. And then so when Watchmen came, I'm sorry. In the meantime, I did Lost. And then when 300 came up, since Lost was such a huge thing, I didn't even have to have an interview, really. So that's how kind of things happen, right? Unless you do something that convinces people that you know what you're doing, then they will let you do things. It's really weird.
Yeah.
The business is sometimes weird. I'm the same person, but and by the way, when I interviewed for Lost, they're also saying like, you just do TV commercials. Like, what makes you think you can do a TV show? So I call up JJ and I go, I don't think they like me. I don't think I'm going to be doing your thing. Sorry. And even then, he's very persuasive and very loyal and knows what he wants. And he told them, you're just sending me reels for people that don't look interesting. I want to do something that's really different. And I know him. I've known him all my whole life, and you can see from his work that he can deliver. And so I don't know what to tell you. I think he's the guy. And then so I guess they eventually listened to him. Thank you, JJ.
Good.
And by the way, he just finished doing a new film.
Yeah.
That's the original script, So he's coming around full circle, kind of like Zach. It's his original script, which, as you know, he's done so many Star Wars and Star Treks were not original projects. Only Super 8 is actually the only one.
Super 8, I think, is the last one original, I think.
Yeah,
I
which is
don't want
sad
to-
because he's so talented and it seems like something's wrong. So I'm so excited. He told me what's about, but I can't tell you. But I'm looking very forward to that. It's going to be a good year if we see Zach's movie and JJ's movie. It's going to be a new, I think, excitement in the air, at least for me, to see what they do.
I watched Super 8 at cinema, so it's I was very, very young. So for me, it's very, very good memories. Even maybe not many people remember, but for me, it's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very special film, and a great homage to Steven Spielberg, who was part of it. So if he wasn't, then I think we'd be accused of plagiarism because it was so Spielberg-like.
Yeah.
But since he was part of it, I think that gave me free reign to channel back, Close Encounters, which remember when Star Wars and Close Encounters came out around the same time?
Yeah.
And there was two camps, and I was on that Close Encounters camp, not the Star Wars camp. so cinematography alone was such a part instilled in me, and so it's so great to channel all that. Right? I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? When you watch it. So, I mean, even the same lenses that we used, everything was so much in homage. Again, that's the part I was telling you about. Like, you can jump on different styles. Like, nothing else I've done is that style, but that style is so right for that film.
And it's funny that this year Steven Spielberg returned to that kind of movie. Let's say, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, so excited about.
For example, so big coincidence. Yeah. JJ, Steven Spielberg, it's amazing.
Larry, if I may, I wanted to ask you about two movies you shot that I really enjoyed. The visual aspects were incredible. One is Kong, and the other, as I spoiled before, is Damsel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kong, Skull Island. I remember falling in love with the bar scene. I think it's really early in the beginning. It's such a visually striking scene. It's something that sets besides all the beautiful stuff, also with visual effects, with Kong, with the chopper scenes with the sun. It's incredible. But that scene with those strong, powerful lights. How was working on these movies, and for Damsel, how was working on a Netflix movie? Because for some it's a really different experience, and I've heard that for others it's something not. It's a movie like another. For you, how was it working for a movie like Damsel for Netflix?
I don't know what made it any different about being for Netflix. For me, it was just a movie, right? Although it didn't get theatrical release, except limited. Sometimes Netflix releases films, a couple days, so they can say it was in the cinema and maybe a nomination. So I did see it with my friends in the cinema with almost nobody in there, because they show it at Netflix theater. There's 2 or 3 Netflix theaters in LA.
Yeah.
They bought. It was mostly
in Italy.
empty.
Unfortunately, we don't have it. We don't have it.
So now it's so sad. We
don't have it. Unfortunately, Damsel is one of them that is not projected in cinema from Italy. In Italy, So
Yes,
but even with movies like Frankenstein, I managed to watch it in theaters because I was in Japan at the time. Only because of that. In Italy, I don't think it was almost
a couple
in a couple theaters in all the nation.
5 in all Italy. All Italy, 5 cinema.
So I understand. Also with Damsel, it's such a beautiful fantasy movie that should have been seen also on the big screen.
Yeah, I saw that on the big screen as well. It was pretty amazing. Yes, it was very cinematic. It was amazing because we shot in London, but also in Portugal at those castles. They're all real. So the caves were not real. But that was a challenge because it was. I realized that a third of the movie is underground. And I think, why do I always get the cave movies? I was thinking, I don't want to do any more jungle or cave movies, and they keep coming back.
Speaking of Kong School Line.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember saying in film school, I love Apocalypse Now, but man, I hope I never have to do that. And then Lost
Yeah.
and Skull Island, whatever. And then the cave again in Super 8, where we're doing the table read, and then the kids go down into the cave,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, not a cave again. And then so they have the little sparklers, call them,
Yeah.
right? And so they can see. Then we're reading the script, and then it said, and then of course the sparklers go out, plunging them into darkness. And I'm just looking around the room, right? And then no one says anything. There's people just don't think that. How do we see anything? And but that's my joke. I mean, I just did really script just recently, and again, writers should have a thing attached to them whenever they write the plunged into darkness and we see nothing. Then they should get electric shock, or get fined, money taken from their bank account. So for writing. I have a joke another DP talks about. Yeah, we get that all the time, especially when they say things like they go from the dark room into the next room that's even darker than the first. What is it about writers?
Yeah.
Let us determine how dark it is. But anyway, so the caves in Damsel, I've been thinking, well, yes, there's movie darkness, right? There has to be a little bit of light coming from somewhere. And you have to ride that line where people are saying that, well, why is there a searchlight in underground or in a coffin? And me and the gaffer are looking at all those sets, and I'm saying, like, well, there has to be holes in here somewhere to make an excuse for some place for light to come through. And the designer, who I love, by the way, and I just spoke to, he said, no, but there wouldn't be any light down there. The director's going, yeah, he's right. So, talk to the gaffer. So what are we gonna do about this? I don't know. Do we just stick lights in? Like, so this is funny. I'll probably get in trouble for saying this. The studio comes, they come, and everyone's taking a tour of all the sets, before we shoot. And they're going, and me and the gaffer kind of standing back, watching. And then at the end of it, we're all standing there, and then people start saying, hey, Larry, have you thought about how you're going to light these sets? Being a gaffer, no. What's that for? Like, why would we want to do that? We didn't say that, but we lost hair, and the hair turned gray during that. But finally, one weekend, me and the gaffer went and got some construction people on ladders, and we went and we cut holes in all the sets. And I told the VFX people, like, we're gonna be putting lights there. Light's gonna be coming through, but you're gonna have to cover up the holes that we're cutting, because otherwise there's no way to light the sets. And even then, in the stage we had a point of light, but we didn't know where people were going to be, so we just had to kind of guess. Oh, can you imagine that? And then when on the day, kind of, maybe she stands here.
A little bit to the left, a little bit to the left.
Yeah, a little more. But then, do you notice? And a little thing glowing and other things, reasons to have light.
Yeah.
You have to make excuses and beg people for, please, have to have something. So again, you asking about the challenges. Yeah, that's when you're underground. But we did reshoots for that show too, and the notes were that it seems like a lot of the movie's dark. After the movie was the first cut, right? Well, yeah, the script was always that she's underground for a third of the movie. So then someone said the note was like, you need to start the movie with something really bright then. So remember the beginning of the movie, the horses, and go up to that was later added reshoots that I couldn't do. And they said that it's too foggy in London. Go to Spain where it's always sunny and just shoot the horses running. And then so some of my crew was there, and I couldn't do it because I was doing something else. And I called and I go, how's that reshoot going in sunny Spain? And they said, oh, it's pouring rain.
Always. It's always like that.
Always, yeah.
So it's raining during that, but you can't see the rain. But yeah, funny.
Earlier we talked about the ending of Sucker Punch, but what was the main difficulty in creating the worlds of Sucker Punch? Sucker Punch has an entire multiverse of worlds, very difficult and visually very different one from another. So, how did you manage to create 5 universes in a movie, in a single movie?
Oh, again, it's the director and the production designer. So Zack had ideas about the symbolism of the different color schemes, and the production designer did as well. And then there's actually, like I said, the pre-production is so important. In the art department, they have concept art, they call it, where they'll have a beautifully rendered example of a scene of what could possibly look like. So let's say this is the B-52 or the airplane, whatever, and it's the castles. Okay, this is the warm scene. Again, that's not an accident. Like, we know months ahead that that's the warm scene, and we know that the insane asylum is going to be this sickly green kind of thing. What was genius about, not just for cost, but for the fact that you don't know what's a dream or reality. Did you notice that a lot of the sets were repurposed for the fantasy part of them? For example, well, this is the obvious one, the big theater that's an insane asylum.
Yeah.
That's the same room that is later the theater and the brothel.
Oh.
Okay, I couldn't guess it. No, I
Yeah,
really
because
couldn't.
there's at the beginning you can see that there's a stage in the.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same set, just
Yes,
oh,
redecorated. I mean, heavily
redecorated.
redecorated, but they had to rebuild the whole thing. And there's actually one sequence that we filmed that's not in the thing, where it's a 360-degree shot of the girl, and then as we go, it transforms into the other one, which was cut, and it's probably better because it's not so on the nose, right? But there's also the front of the insane asylum is also the front of the big cathedral where all the orcs are killed. The big ballet room becomes, God, what was it? Now I can't remember, but I remember the production designer Rick Heinrichs. He's worked with Spielberg. He's an amazing production designer. He said, like, we just wander around these sets and, like, we smoke a joint. I didn't smoke a joint, and then on downtime, like, the answers will come to us. He's an amazing thinker. And then that's one of the revelations he had, was about repurposing and color schemes. And I remember talking with him about lighting strategies and stuff. And that's when you work closely with a crew member like that, that's when things, become amazing. Yeah, no accidents. Been a while since I saw it, so I can't remember. But if you do watch it again, you'll start to see that the sets repeat.
Okay, amazing.
Oh, the hallways of the insane asylum become the hallways of the brothel, things like that.
Okay, I
We
couldn't
have to
guess.
rewatch it now with
Yeah, I'm really definitely
Yeah,
going to
because
rewatch.
it's
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so there are a few places that resemble one another. Yeah, we have our homework to do
Yeah, we had to
for
do
tonight.
Yeah, you can do the side-by-side thing on your website or Instagram. Forgot about that.
And thinking about we don't talk about the acting, the actors, strange animals. How do you relate as DOP as maybe improv of the actor? Because the actor not always is line for line, standing in position, is not soldiers. So maybe improvisation and think. How do you react on maybe your plan, your lightning, and everything?
Well,
How
with
does
Zack,
that affect your work?
there's less improv. I think, people, there's always the joke among camera people and lighting people about actors hitting their marks. Some are really good at it. They can just nail their marks without looking. And for those that don't know, you do rehearsal and you put down marks, then The actors go get their makeup and wardrobe, and then the stand-ins come and hit the marks, and that's when you light it and practice the moves and stuff. So, and it's lit for those marks, and there's a little T mark with tape on the ground. So if you don't hit those marks, a couple of things can happen. You're not lit properly, or you'll be out of focus. I mean, the guy can adjust, but the framing and the composition is for a reason, right? If you hit that mark and the camera, the dolly has a mark, then you'll be right in front of the part of the window we want, and you're in the best light. But if that doesn't happen, then, but you have to accept it. It's never gonna be perfect. Some directors really rely on improv a lot. A lot of comedy directors and serious directors let the actors do whatever they want, so they wander all over the place. So and Oscar-winning directors too. So it's not necessarily because they don't know what they're doing or they're not good. It's just a different way of working. So I'm very jealous of cinematographers that can light for bigger areas. I mean, as a rule of thumb, the bigger area you light, if you light for the general area, it's not going to be as interesting or as dramatic as hitting specific marks, getting composition, and more interesting light, right? You can put light everywhere, sure. But again, some people can do that and they're better than others. I wouldn't say I can't do it or it's a weakness, but you can really, it's precision. Like Zack is good with that precision. Like Zack prefers to use one camera, whereas some of these improv directors use 2-3 cameras, sometimes more. And we're just capturing the funny line or whatever, because that's the priority. But for Zack, the visuals are so important that he won't do that. Unless you have to, like cars crashing or fight scene with a million zombies running around, you can use more cameras. But if it's a very intentional close-up, there's pretty much one perfect position and one lens and one mark.
I think I remember something like almost a decade ago now, about a shot in Batman vs Superman with the Batmobile. When it's going, the first time we see the Batmobile that's going in the pier, and there's a shot that I don't remember if it was ever confirmed. So I can ask you, was it like a GoPro shot on the car itself? There was like a shot of the car going out of the first time it appears, and I think I remember there was some discussion about it being a GoPro shot or something like that.
I don't remember using a
It was,
GoPro shot.
it was because it's. I remember there was some discussion when the movie came out about the camera being like on top of the front of a car in such a way that many people thought it was like a GoPro shot. Probably it wasn't. It was another.
Huh. Maybe you have the shot, because I can't recall ever using a GoPro shot.
I'll try to look the scene. I'm sorry. When you were talking about multiple cameras, that question flashed into
We
my
did use
mind.
GoPro shot when we shot the surveillance camera of the Flash in the liquor store.
Okay.
Look like surveillance cameras, those were GoPros, because that made sense to do so. But I don't remember any other time.
Yeah, because I think it's listed as cameras used for the movie GoPro.
Yeah, that was
Perhaps
probably
that was the
Yeah, it's listed in the IMDb that they use,
Yeah,
and
the
no
Flash.
one knows. No
It
one
was the
knows.
Flash.
Is the okay?
It was the Flash.
the,
So I remember
this
because I flew out.
this is the shot. This one after this one when it comes out of those plastic sheets for the first time. I remember people saying, perhaps this is the shot. So no, it was the Ezra Miller shot when
No
we
way,
see the
there's no
Flash
reason.
for the first time.
There's no reason for that to be GoPro. Yeah, all the things when they talk about Flash, remember where there's like for surveillance
Yeah.
cameras? That made sense, because I remember that, because I remember I flew out my friend who was really good with GoPros to do charge of that. So that's for sure.
So that's
amazing.
thank you so much.
Amazing.
Such a a question that I remember people debating online. Yeah, it was this one. No, it was another.
They're hypothesizing. Yeah, no, there's no reason. Like that tight shot of him, he would he wasn't even moving. It's probably just the camera like that and shaking.
Okay.
There's no really, you can't see outside of that, so there's no reason.
Okay.
I do remember we did have a day of just shooting up close-ups of him just from here and here and here and here and shaking the camera and doing it really quickly. Really,
The details, yeah, of the car, yeah,
yeah, you never
of
need.
him
So
in the
like
car.
in half an hour, you could do all the shots that we'd ever need because you just
Yeah,
never,
exactly. Yeah.
never end up having lights go by and you can do it all and you can use it anywhere.
And yeah, talking about BVS, Batman v Superman, there is a great debate, I think, that DOP, cinematographers, and cinema lovers. I have worked in an archive, cinema archive, so I really feel the film. The big debate is digital or film. Something about this, and maybe you have a preference. There is no preference. Is the same. For example, you quote Fincher. Fincher is a great master on film, on digital, and recreate on digital the film look that is something out of mind. But even in Watchmen, you say before, is incredible the feel of the lighting that is like 70s, 70s, 80s is perfect. One of the best reconstruction in cinema that I ever watched.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
perfect.
you a lot.
The television shot in Watchmen, the channel shot is perfect, and is not is like a quote. Is not the same, but it's a quote. It's incredible reinterpretation, but keep looking the original. And yeah,
Which
it's
television shot
amazing.
are you talking about?
Yeah, the television
Which one?
shot. Yeah, the beginning, the like on the TV and the feel of the studio where
The
Dr. Manhattan.
Oh,
Yeah, the feeling of the studio and that kind of
oh, you mean like the talk show?
yeah, exactly. Talk show. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting you mentioned that. I haven't thought about that in a long time because I asked Zach, those talk shows are usually not lit very well. So do
Yeah,
you want it to
exactly.
look like the hard lights
Exactly.
like they would have used back then? And he goes, yeah, let's do it. So it's kind of ugly in a weird way. So we did just have some just hard lights just up there, kind of like I thought that kind of talk show would be.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the trick is like, yes, you could have made look better in the close-ups and put the light in a better place, but we decided not to because if you're really filming a TV show, that's what would happen.
No, but the result is incredible. There is nothing like this.
Yeah,
It's,
it's a risky thing to do sometimes because sometimes there's the thing that sometimes my crew laughs at me where we do a shot and it's lit and I look at it and I go, no, this is wrong. This looks too good.
ah,
But I enjoy saying that. It's kind of half goofy, right? This looks like the Deacon shot. This isn't the time for a Deacon shot. That's so. And so
like it's a bad
that's an
thing.
example of that. Yeah, you risk like making it look like you don't know what you're doing, but I'm willing to take that risk to be appropriate. Sometimes you have to walk that line. Yeah.
And about film and digital, what do you think?
Well, that's
What do
interesting
you?
because Skull Island was the first digital movie I did. And I was very scared, but I got one of the best DITs in the business, Robert Howie. He's done, half of my films since then. Uh, he's so integral to. He's just as important as the camera operator, as the gaffer, as the colorist and the DIT. For me, so important. Like I know people like Fincher don't even use DITs because they know, okay, I know it's going to look like this is rough. It's not. It's in log. It'll be fine later. But I want that image when we're filming it and the director has his monitor. I want that to look 90%. It won't be 100% because there's always something that the colorist adds to it if he's good. But it's part of the process. Every step you take makes the film a little better. So I look for 90%. This is what it's going to look like. But it's also good that it isn't just a blurry log picture for the director because I go, do you like this feel of this? And he goes, well, it's too dark, or I wanted more green or more color. But then I can just do it in 1 second and you happy now, then I'll be happy later. The worst thing is when you have, and this happens a lot on commercials and other things, when you send it with the LUT, if there's some kind of mistake or the editor is not using your LUT or your color or your CDL, it won't look like I intended. So especially in the older days, they're on an Avid or something, and the color isn't the way I want it to look. But then you think, oh, it doesn't matter. It's just the editor. He's looking at acting and the pacing and whatever. But this happens all the time, and I've heard it so many people. When we go to the final DI with the colorist and you know what the DI is, right? When you're grading, it's the room in your grading thing. For people that don't know, it stands for digital intermediate. That's when you do your final grading. Color grading, color look. Oftentimes this happened in 2 DIs ago. I did it. I was adjusting it, and someone would say, "This isn't how it's supposed to look. Why did you change it? This is what it's supposed to look like." And even though there's professional and filmmakers been doing it for decades, they forget that. And yeah, they will say like, "This is what it originally looked like." I go, yeah, it does look like that. And that's why when I talk to anyone in post-production, I go, please make sure you get the right color. And I'll sometimes stop by, and sometimes they don't think it's important, but it is important, because even the director who was there may get used to this new look, because he spent half a year editing the movie, and then they're going to the suite and they're like, what? But to me, it's etched in my mind because I wasn't in the editing thing, so I don't have that time of looking at it to erase the memory of what I know that it looked like. So I know what I intended, and I also have the stills on my computer, by the way. And so it's very important to nail that look. So that's why the DIT for me, and you all know what DIT is, but for those that don't know, on set there's a guy called the DIT, that stands for digital imaging technician. All the signals go into his cart, and he has adjustments on the color and can make adjustments on the cameras for color and exposure, and the iris, the aperture of the camera here, and that's what I'm looking at. So when I'm at 95% happy, then we film. So I don't think later I'm going to make it more contrasting, whatever. I do it right then and there, because it doesn't take that much time. And so let's say, you know, I die or something, then hopefully if they can clone the blood, then the film will still look like I meant for it to be.
Yeah.
Right. So I know not everyone does that, but for me, I really fight for my DIT along with other crew people. Although these days you're lucky to get any crew person that you want because of budgets and traveling countries and things. But for me, DIT, so talking about film and digital, I had a really good DIT on Kong, and that's why I've stayed with him as much as I can, because he was so good, and he helped in look development, right? And that also makes the director happy, because we do test scenes and goes, look, is this what you want? Yes, it's awesome. So it's talked about. Where in film, that wasn't always the case, right? Because when you shoot film, you have a video tap, which in the old days are horrible. It's like you just stuck a camcorder from the IPS, horrible, like surveillance camera.
Terrible.
And blinking and everything else. So now, even now, I haven't shot film for so long, I don't know, but you can't judge your lighting by the monitor thing that everyone's looking at. So now, for better or worse, what I'm looking at the cart is exactly what the camera's getting, or should look like later, more or less, with my look applied, right?
Yeah.
So the downside is film has the texture and everything else, but since Kong, I've had not had the opportunity to shoot film at all. And I can't remember the date of that film. Maybe one you guys know. But every director wants to shoot film. So every director I shot with goes, we should shoot film. And then the producer, yeah, sure.
Maybe
then,
IMAX now is
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, big directors are ones that, but not even big, some small ones, you know, like the films that are smaller and make horror films that are shot on film. You're like, what? How can they afford to do it? But I've not been allowed to shoot film, so I have to embrace it. So what do? The advantages are, like I said, you know exactly what you're getting. No surprises later. I can sleep at night. I can play it back, and I've had other tools and tricks to make it seem like film. A lot of which I discovered on Kong. There's things you can do in the DI with color, with grain emulation. That's no secret. But other secrets, like making the edges look a certain way, or making the image slightly move in a subtle way. to make it seem filmic, or even skewing. So it's not exactly
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
So trying to go imperfect and using old glass, like anamorphic glass or glass that I always use Panavision, and try to use their old glass when I can. And then that'll make it seem filmy. So Kong Skull Island, I wouldn't say it necessarily looks exactly like film, but if you look at it, it sure has a cool texture
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
that I don't think you could have gotten with film. Well, maybe. But because of the process of discovery we're experimenting, we're doing, we got that cool look.
It's
So
funny
I
that
tend to embrace it, and I try not to complain and whine about it until such time as I can shoot film again.
it's a movie set in the 70s or somewhere, and there is film in there. So it's funny the use of digital. It's very clever use of digital. Same as
Yeah.
Fincher and the other director and DOPs that do the kind of thinking on digital and film. So incredible.
Yeah, that's also why I didn't quite understand like people wanting more and more resolution and sharper and bigger sensors till there's no end. I try to convince everyone, can we still shoot in 4K or less? I only shot Damsel in 4K because they made me do it. I'd much rather shoot in 3.2 or something like
2K.
Skull Island was at. I think that's plenty of resolution. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
It's too
Like-
sharp. It's too good. It looks too
and then
good.
they do all the tricks and then old lenses on top of the super sharp. Like, what do you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like fashion film. There's so many changes now in film that the fashion just goes up and down, and I feel like some filmmakers just chasing their tails about what they really want.
it is about the home video edition of Batman v Superman. I don't know if you curated the last one, the 4K one, with the different grading of something. Yeah, different grading.
Really?
Yeah. You don't know. Yeah,
They didn't have
there
me.
are. Yeah, the IMAX version, the last version that comes out, I think in 21, have different, slightly different grading respect the original 4K of
Really?
2018 BVS. Yeah, it's a different remaster. Yeah, and you think no, you don't know?
I don't know about it. I don't know about it. They didn't ask me. I'm sure Zack would know.
Slightly, yeah.
I'll ask
Director
him tomorrow.
approval. Both
said
are
that?
director, yeah, both are
Huh.
director approval. Yeah,
I don't
slightly
know.
different. I can, if you want, I can share you the screen caps of the two
Oh, yeah.
edition, if you want.
Yes, I do want.
Yeah,
Did they do the thing where the screen changes shape at least?
yes, exactly.
did?
This is the This is
Oh, wow.
the main different, but is a slightly different in grading. I think that I don't know if HDR or something is a question of this, but I think that changed a little bit
Well, it could
between
be
two
because
edition.
I don't think they had HDR when we first did it. So HDR does change things.
Yeah.
You have to, quality control has to. So yeah, it's very tricky because no one wants to do another master for the HDR version.
Yeah.
No one wants to pay for the time because the colors can do it, but and you can't just press a button to do it. It won't go across. So yeah, I'm interested to see it. Thanks.
But I can send you the screen caps.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Larry, if I can, wrap this up. This amazing. For us, it's midnight right now. What time is it?
Okay. Here, 3 p.m.
3 p.m. So perfect. This early afternoon and late night. If we can, before you talked about a magic trick.
Ah, right. Oh, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Can
have
we
we
ask
finished up
you
the magic
something?
Okay. Let's see. Who should we volunteer? I don't want people to think this is set up, so I'm wondering how we should choose a volunteer. I know what. Let's see.
Who wants to go?
Oh, I know what.
Max,
Just so
Paul?
we know that, so we know it's not set up. I have a card here, and whoever can choose the number on this card, that's who will be the volunteer. Okay, it's Francesco.
Two.
Oh no. Okay. Nope.
No.
David.
Davide?
7.
6, 5. No.
Uh,
Okay, we'll try again.
Keep
Wait.
5, yeah.
Oh, yep, Francesco.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can do the trick on you. That wasn't the trick. That's just to find so people know random
Yeah.
select. Okay? So I want you to think of a card.
Yeah.
You can think of any card, and I will be able to name the card, even though I'm thousands of miles from you. I'll be able to name your card, but don't say the card. Just think of it.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe me that I can name your card first try?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I believe you.
It's not an obvious card like Ace of Spades, is it?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Was?
it was an obvious one. It was an obvious one. Yeah.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
I have to do another one. It's not as obvious.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, no, I'll still use you.
Okay.
Choose one that's not obvious, and then I'll still be able to
Okay.
name your card.
Okay. Not
Got it?
obvious. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to name your card. Now concentrate. Brian.
Sorry?
Brian?
The
Brian, I said I would name your card, so I named it Brian.
No.
Be good, right? See, there's a trick you guys can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Brian.
See these cards, though?
Yeah.
Oh.
Aaron, Momo, Meryl, Ben,
Sì, è quello
Matt,
lì.
Herman. Okay, this is a deck of just names.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this. Do you see your card here? Anywhere? And this is in the camera? Did I go past it?
Yeah.
Oh. You see it?
Yeah.
In this hand or this hand?
The second one.
This one?
No, the other one.
Oh, here. This one? This one? This one?
No.
Go back.
Yeah, back. Yeah. Free.
This is the card you chose this again?
No. Free.
Oh.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
This is the card you only thought of.
Yeah.
And what card did I say? What did I name it?
Brian. No.
Oh.
No, era quella vera.
Impossible.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah.
That's all, Fox.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
that one.
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah. From America in Italy, you invite.
Grazie mille.
Grazie.
Grazie a te.
Grazie a te. Thank you.
Grazie, thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was amazing,
welcome.
and this trick was incredible. Really, thank you so much. Such
No
a
problem.
unique experience.
Thank you. It was super
You're,
fun.
you're amazing. You're so insightful,
Thank you
and
so much. It was
thank you
really
so much.
fun. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Have a
Incredible.
great time. Get some sleep. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, we talk soon. We talk soon.
Enjoy your day, and
Yeah.
see you next time.
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Bye.
Ciao. Thank you.
Bye.